Hey, some Ninjas, it's Rose here. This is the School of Mathematics Nigeria. So today we'll be talking about HCF and LCM. In the previous lesson, we spoke about factors and multiples. And if you remember clearly, we said that factors leads us to highest common factors and multiples leads us to the lowest common multiple. Now I want you to see the difference between the two. So when you have questions, you're able to tell which is which. Highest common factor is also known as the greatest common divisor. So you see the word divisor, division. So highest common factor, this is the largest number that can exactly divide two or more numbers without any remainder. We'll solve an example and you'll get it. But for the lowest common multiple, from the word lowest, it is the smallest number that is a product of two or more numbers. Let's solve examples. So for the highest common factor, you remember that we said it's also known as the greatest common divisor. We said this is the largest number that can exactly divide two or more numbers without any remainder. So the number that can go in 4 and at the same time go in 6 without any remainder is what? So you have to know your division. How do you do this? You would always make sure you know your even numbers, your odd numbers, and your prime numbers. So we have 4 and 6. These are even numbers. 2 can go in any even number, right? So 2 can go in 4 and at the same time go in 6. So you write 2. So how many times can 2 go in 4? 2 times. How many times can 2 go in 6? 3 times. So now that you're here, these are prime numbers. 3, nothing can go in 3 except itself and 1. 2, nothing can go in 2 except itself and 1. So these are prime numbers. We would stop here. The highest common factor of 4 and 6 is 2. Now let's see what the LCM of 4 and 6 is. You draw your line, you write 4 and 6. So lowest common multiple, what did we say it is? We said that this is the smallest product of two or more numbers, right? Again, to avoid complications or ambiguity, always start with the smallest number you can think of. These are even numbers, so 2 can go, right? Now, the difference between this and this is you can just keep going. You don't have to look for a number that can go in both 4 and 6. If you find a number that can go in 4 and can go in 6, it's fine. You can keep going. Let me show you what I mean. 2 in 4 is 2. 2 in 6 is 3, right? What again can go? So 2 in 2 is 1, but 2 cannot go in 3 without a remainder. So just write 3. Don't do the division, okay? Then the next one is 3. So 3 in 1 is 1. 3 in 3 is 1. So for LCM, what's the difference? Always make sure that you stop at 1, 1. Like keep dividing, keep finding their products until you get to 1, 1. But for HCF, the number you're trying to divide it with has to go in both numbers that you're given. But for the LCM, just keep going, whether it goes in the second one or not, just keep dividing until you get to 1, 1. We'll solve another example and you'll get it. If this, and this. So you have 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. Now, if you remember clearly what we said about factors and multiples, we said that factors would always be less than or equal to the given number, or multiples will always be greater or equal to the given number. Do you remember? So in this case, our multiple for 4 and 6 is 12, meaning when you keep multiplying 4 you would get 12. And when you keep multiplying 6, you also get 12. So the common multiples of 4 and 6 is 12, while the common factors of 4 and 6 is 2. I hope that makes sense. Let's do something. Let's solve another example. All right, so we are about to find the HCF of 9 and 15. So you're going to draw a line for a division, right? So for 9 and 15, what can go in 9 and at the same time go in 15? Remember, start with the lowest number you can think of. But before then, we said that you have to take notes. The given numbers, are they even numbers? Are they odd numbers? Are they prime numbers? So if you know your numbers well, you know these are odd numbers. So you can't try 2 because 2 cannot go in an odd number without a remainder. The focus is not to have a remainder when it comes to HCF. So we go with 3, right? That's the smallest number we can think of right now that can go in 9 and at the same time go in 15. So 3 in 9 is 3. 3 in 15 is 5. Now looking at this, these are prime numbers. Only 3 can go in itself and 1. Only 5 can go in itself and 1. So we are stopping here. Now for LCM, we already said that you don't have to bother about it going at the same time. You can always finish with 9 and then go to 15. However, but make sure that there is a number that can divide it without a remainder. Like we said, these are odd numbers, so you can't try 2 because 2 will go in 9 with a remainder of 1. 2 will go in 15 with a remainder of 1. So we're moving to 3. 3 in 9 is 3. 3 in 15 is 5. When you get here, you have to still find a number that can go in 3 or 5. Remember, we're here now. So 3 can go in 3. So 3 in 3 is 1. 3 in 5 would have a remainder, so just write 5. Don't bother. Moving on, we have gotten 1 here. We can move on from here to here. So what can go in 5? 5 itself. So 5 in 1 is 1. 5 in 5 is 1. Remember, 5 in 1 is, of course, you know, it's 0 points continuously, but in this case, you just write 1 again. So when you get to 1, 1, you know you're done with your LCM. Now we multiply all the numbers that we used to divide. So you have 3 times 3 times 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So you see the difference again. When it comes to factors, it will always be lesser than or equal to the given values. But when it comes to multiples, it will always be greater than or equal to the given values. I hope with these examples you've been able to understand the differences, right? Right. So let's try one more example. Right, so we saved the last for the best. If you know your numbers well, you know these are prime numbers. What are prime numbers? Numbers that are only divisible by itself and 1. So nothing can go through them, just themselves and 1. So 7 is a prime number because there is no number that can go in 7 except itself and 1. 11 is also a prime number. So we've done even numbers, we've done odd numbers, now we're doing prime numbers. So you have 2 prime numbers and you're asked to find the HCF. Even without going further, what can you say? Of course, you can say that the highest common factor, greatest common divisor, the greatest number, the largest number that can go in both 11 and 7 without any remainder is what? 1. So 1 in 7, 1 in 11. Nothing else. You keep going, it's 1, 1, 1. Only 1 can go in both at the same time. It's 1. Simple and straightforward, right? Now, what is the LCM? So 7 can go in 7. Only 7 can go in itself. That's 1. 7 in 11 is impossible, so it would have a remainder, so just write 11. So moving on, 11. 11 in 1, impossible, write 1. 11 in 11 is 1. 7 times 11, which is 77. Do you see the difference? So at this junction, I hope you're able to tell the difference between your HCF and LCM. Note that you can do this for as many numbers as possible. You could be given a third number. Just do the same thing as we've done. You keep going. For HCF, it has to be the same number that can go in the numbers given, right? At the same time. But for LCM, you just keep going until you get to 1, 1. Just keep dividing, right? And yeah, if you want to catch up, please check the previous video to catch up on factors and multiples so you can better understand what we've done today, right? And as always, do not forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. We have not had time to really connect as a community, but reach us on other social media platforms. As always, we're there, we can answer your questions, and I'll give you yours to do. So make sure you leave your answers in the comment section and make friends, right? If you have problems, also drop them there. We'll be more willing to help. Thank you so much for your support thus far. Do not forget, don't skip the ads. It helps and encourages us to keep pushing and putting more videos for you. We're waiting for you as always. See you in the next class. But before then, make sure to do your work. This is yours to do. Make sure you do your work, do your assessments, practice at home, and see you in the next class. I'm Nigers.